Have you ever pondered why we press harder on a remote control when we know the batteries are weak? Do we genuinely believe it will perform better? Welcome to another journey into the fascinating world of human psychology, where we'll unravel the mystery behind this common, yet intriguing behavior. We begin with an understanding of cognitive psychology, a branch of psychology that studies mental processes like problem-solving, decision-making, and perception. It helps us comprehend that our brain often links increased effort with improved results. For instance, when we push a heavy piece of furniture, exerting more force indeed makes a difference. However, our brain sometimes overgeneralizes this rule, applying it even when it doesn't quite fit, like pressing harder on a remote control. The second aspect to consider is the illusion of control, a tendency for people to overestimate their ability to control events. This psychological phenomenon explains why we believe that pressing harder on a remote will yield better results. It gives us a sense of control over the situation, even though logically we know it doesn't make any difference. Then there's the concept of classical conditioning, a learning process that occurs through associations between an environmental stimulus and a naturally occurring stimulus. Remember Pavlov's dogs? The same principle applies here. Over time, we've conditioned ourselves to believe that exerting more force equals a greater response. Lastly, we must consider the role of frustration and emotion. As our frustration grows with the non-functioning remote, our emotional response intensifies. This often translates into physical actions, such as pressing harder on the buttons. In a nutshell, pressing harder on a weak remote is a result of cognitive psychology, the illusion of control, classical conditioning, and emotional response. This behavior, while seemingly trivial, provides a fascinating glimpse into the intricate workings of the human mind. To conclude, our brain often associates increased effort with improved outcomes, leading us to press harder on a weak remote. The illusion of control gives us a false sense of power over the situation. Classical conditioning has trained us to believe that more force equals a better response, and our emotional response to frustration often translates into physical action. This exploration into our behavior with weak remotes is just one example of how psychology permeates every aspect of our daily lives. It's a reminder that even in the simplest of actions, there's a world of psychological complexity at play. So the next time you find yourself pressing harder on a weak remote, take a moment to appreciate the marvel that is the human mind.